Upbeat, inspiring intro music fades into the background. Hello, and welcome back to Stories by Heart. Have you ever felt like you have a big dream, but everyone around you just doesn't seem to get it? Like you're walking a path all by yourself? Today, I want to share a story that I think will resonate with many of you. It's a story about finding the courage to believe in yourself, especially when it feels like no one else does. Let's talk about a young woman named Lena. Lena wasn't just any young woman. She was a dreamer, an artist at heart. Her dream was to paint, to bring stories of hope and courage to life on a canvas with vibrant, breathtaking colors. It was more than a hobby. It was her passion, her calling. Every stroke of her brush was a piece of her soul. But here's the thing about dreams. Sometimes they feel fragile, especially when you share them with the world. Every time Lena gathered the courage to show her work, she was met with a wave of doubt. It wasn't loud or aggressive, but it was persistent, like a slow, dripping faucet. Her friends, trying to be helpful, would say things like, "Lena, this is beautiful, but art won't pay the bills. You need something stable." Her family, who loved her dearly, would gently suggest, "Honey, why don't you pick something more practical? A real career?" Each comment was like a small stone, adding to a heavy weight on her shoulders. Slowly, but surely, the weight of their words began to press down on her spirit. The vibrant colors in her mind started to fade to gray. She started to look at her own canvases and see not stories of hope, but reflections of her own inadequacy. The voices of others became a chorus in her head, and she started to sing along. "Maybe they're right," she would whisper to herself late at night. "Maybe I'm just not good enough. Maybe I'm just fooling myself." Her brushes gathered dust. Her easel stood empty in the corner of her room, a silent monument to a dream she was letting die. The doubt had seeped in, poisoning her confidence from the inside out. It's a lonely place to be, isn't it? When the one person you need to believe in you, yourself, starts to have second thoughts. One particularly gloomy evening, the gray sky mirroring the mood in her heart, Lena found herself wandering aimlessly. She ended up in a quiet, deserted park. Rain was falling softly, creating a gentle rhythm on the leaves and 1,000 tiny, expanding ripples on the surface of a pond. She sat on a cold, damp bench, just watching the ripples, each one starting from a single drop and expanding outward, changing the entire surface of the water. And in that quiet moment of solitude, a memory surfaced. It was the voice of her old art teacher, a kind woman with paint-splattered hands and eyes that always sparkled with passion. The teacher had once told her, "Lena, listen to me. Belief in yourself is a force of nature. It is stronger than anyone's doubt. The opinions of others, whether good or bad, do not define your value. Your worth is inherent. It comes from within you." The memory was like a spark in the darkness. She took a deep, shuddering breath, the cool, rain-washed air filling her lungs. It felt like the first real breath she had taken in months. That single thought, that one piece of advice, began to push back against the heavy weight of doubt. Others' opinions do not define your value. The words echoed, not in her head, but in her heart. That night, something shifted inside Lena. She went home, not with her head hanging low, but with a new sense of purpose. She walked straight to her dusty easel, picked up her brushes, and squeezed a brilliant yellow onto her palette. She painted. She painted for hours, losing all track of time. But this time, it was different. She wasn't painting to impress anyone. She wasn't painting to seek approval or to prove her doubters wrong. She was painting for herself. She poured every ounce of her feeling onto the canvas, the suffocating pain of self-doubt, the quiet despair of those lonely nights, but also the tiny, flickering flame of hope that had been reignited in the park. The colors were bolder, the strokes more confident. She was simply and purely expressing herself. The days that followed turned into weeks. Lena kept painting. She built a new collection of work, one that was honest, raw, and unapologetically her. Then, with a courage she didn't know she had, she started sharing her art again. But her approach had changed entirely. She wasn't nervously asking, "What do you think?" Instead, she was confidently saying, "This is what I felt. This is my story." And a funny thing happened. People began to notice, really notice. Some were drawn to the sheer courage in her work. They saw a reflection of their own struggles and aspirations. Others were deeply touched by the emotional stories her paintings told, the tales of resilience and hope that shone through the vibrant colors. The conversations shifted from, "How will you make a living?" to, "Your work made me feel something." It was in those moments that Lena had a profound realization, a powerful truth that settled deep within her. Believing in herself wasn't the final step, it was the very first. It was the foundation upon which everything else had to be built. Once she had that unwavering self-belief, the opinions of others lost their power. They could no longer shake her confidence because she had finally learned that the only validation that truly, deeply mattered was her own. Years passed. The young woman who once doubted her own talent became an acclaimed artist. Lena's art, born from a moment of profound self-realization, now hangs in galleries, its vibrant colors and powerful stories inspiring countless people. Her journey serves as a beautiful reminder. Her success didn't happen because everyone magically started to believe in her from the start. It happened because she chose to believe in herself when it felt like no one else in the world did. Her story teaches us that your dream is yours to protect. Your value isn't up for a vote. It's easy to let the chorus of doubt from the outside world become your inner monologue. But your inner voice should be your biggest cheerleader, your most steadfast supporter. Like Lena, we all have the power to turn down the volume on external criticism and turn up the volume on our own self-belief. It's the most important first step on the path to achieving anything meaningful. I hope Lena's story has inspired you today. If you're on a journey to chase a dream and facing your own chorus of doubters, remember her. Remember the power that lies in your own belief. If this story resonated with you, and you'd like to hear more motivational stories that can help you learn English, stay inspired, and grow a little wiser every day, please consider subscribing to Stories by Heart.